Okay, so we've done multiplication, okay? So the product property is when you see that dot, okay? And it lets you know to multiply the big numbers and add up the little numbers. When we see parentheses, that is the power property. And when you see this fraction bar or this line, that lets you know that it's the division property. And the division property for just the exponent part, okay? When you see the bar, that lets you know that you need to subtract the exponents. Okay, so when we see that division bar, we know we need to subtract the exponents. And as far as the big numbers, they kind of just depend, or the coefficients, okay? So if we look at number one, okay, if we're just doing the exponents, and you have to subtract the top minus the bottom, okay? So if we're just looking at the r's, what is, well, first of all, so there's a 1 right here, okay, we know that. Does 1/2 simplify? No, it does not. So you're going to put the 1/2 back. Okay, and then we say R3 minus R2. So it's going to look like this, R3 minus R2. Well, what is 3 minus 2? 1. So it's going to look like 1 R1 over 2. Now, do you need those ones? We don't at all. Okay, and so really, like the, I guess, professional way that the answer would look like is just R over 2. Okay, however, I'm not going to mark it wrong if you write the ones on there because this is the same as this, just without the writing. So either of these are totally fine. Okay. On all of these today, they should all be positive exponents because tomorrow we're going to work on the negatives, okay? So as long as you're subtracting them right, you should be fine. Okay, so if we're looking at number 3, does 3 over 2 simplify? Does that fraction simplify? No, 3 over 2 is still 3 over 2. Okay, so we're going to say 3 and the 2. Okay, and then you're going to say the top exponent minus the bottom exponent. So it's going to be n to the 3 minus 2. Well, what is 3 minus 2? 1. Okay, so it's just really 3 over 2 to the n, or to the n to the 1 power. Okay, you can put the 1 or not put the 1. That's totally fine. Okay, look at 5. Does 2/3 simplify? No. 2/3 is still 2/3. Okay. We got x to the 4th minus what? 1. There's a 1 on the bottom. Okay. Well, what is 4 minus 1? 3. So you're going to get 2x to the 3 over that 3. Okay, look at 7. What's on the top? 1. Okay, so the fraction is really 1/3. Does 1/3 simplify? That's okay if you're not good with fractions. Okay, but typically, if there's a 1, it's not going to simplify. If there's a 1 on the top, it's not going to simplify. Or like this one, there's a 1 on the bottom, that can't be simplified any further. Okay, if it's 1 over something, either on top or on bottom, that fraction is definitely not going to simplify. Okay, so we can put the 3 back, and you're going to say n2 minus what? 1. Okay, well, what is 2 minus 1? 1, so it's really n1, or just n, over 3. Okay, and most of these, the way that you can look at the simplification, if the number on top is bigger than the number on the bottom, it's probably going to simplify. Or if it's like a like number, it's probably going to simplify. Okay, so, and that's just kind of a cheater way if you're not good with fractions, and that's okay. You can type in the fraction on your calculator, and it will do the simplification for you. I can type in 3/4. If I get 3/4 back, then I know it doesn't simplify. If I type in 4 over 4, it will give me 1, meaning that the fraction does simplify. Okay, so if we look at 9, see how the 3 is bigger than the 4 on the bottom? chances are it probably does not simplify. Now, that's not always true, but most of the time. Okay, so we're going to put the 3/4 back because it does not simplify. Okay, and then you're going to get n to the 4 minus 2. Well, what is 4 minus 2? And 2. Okay, 11. See, what are two coefficients? Our big numbers. 2 and 2. So they're the same, which means that fraction simplifies. Okay? Well, what is 2 over 2? And you can type that fraction in on your calculator. It's 1. Okay, so you can put 1, or you can put 1 over 1, or you can put nothing. It does not matter. Okay? And then for the same way that we did the other days, okay? X's go with X's, Y's go with Y's, A's go with A's. So can I combine these two? No, I cannot, okay? I can't say X3 minus Y2 because they're not like pieces, okay? So this is just going to stay the way it is. Okay, so we're going to get X3, Y2. Okay, and again, you can put the ones there if you want to. You don't have to. Okay, 13. What is on the bottom?
X and Y.
Well, the coefficient. 1. Okay, so does 3 over 1 simplify? It's just 3. Okay, so which is what we got up there. So put the 3 down. Okay, and then on the top, you're going to say x to the 2 minus what? 1. Okay, that's right here. 2 minus 1. Okay, and then we got y to the 4 minus 1. Okay, so you're going to get 3. What is 2 minus 1? 1. Y to the 4 minus 1? 3. Okay, my advice to you is if you know you suck at fractions, double check it on your calculator. Okay? You guys know if you're not good at fractions or if you're good at fractions. Okay? If you're not sure, do it on the calculator. Does 2 over 4 simplify? Yes, it does. Okay, and that's what I was talking about in common. So 2 and 4 have stuff in common. What do they have in common? What does 2 and 4 have in common? A 2. Okay, so 2 goes into 2, or 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2, okay? However, you can do it on your calculator. Right now, hit that fraction button. Do it so you know what I'm talking about. Hit your fraction button and type in 2, and then put 4 on the bottom. What do you get? 1 over 2, which is exactly what I got doing it by hand. So if you know you're not very good at fractions, use a calculator. So we got 1 over 2. And then you got x to the 4 minus 1. Y to the what?
4 minus 2.
4 minus 2. So we get 1/2. What is 4 minus 1?
3.
3. X to the 3. Y to the 4 minus 2.
2.
It's going to be 2. Okay, 17. Does 3 over 3 simplify?
It simplifies to 1.
Okay, yep, so it's going to be 1. Okay, so do you have to write the 1? No, it kind of just cancels out, okay? However, you can, okay? Then what's our other stuff? X to the what? 1 minus... Nothing. Because it does not have another one. Okay, so the x is going to go back in its spot, and the y is going to go back in its spot. Okay, and really we said 3 over 3. This is the same as putting 1 over 1. Okay, these are equivalent. Okay, this is the proper, what do you say, more proper answer. Okay, but the other one is totally acceptable if you prefer to write the ones on there. Okay, last one, 19. Does 2 over 2 simplify? As what? 1. Okay, if you want to, again, put the 1 over 1, you totally can. On your calculator, it's just going to give you 1. Okay, if you get one number, so if I had like 6 over 3, on my calculator, I'm going to get 2. So that 2 then goes on the top. Okay, so the 1 really is on the top. However, we know that there's a 1 on the bottom as well. Okay, so we're going to get x to the 3 minus 1, y to the 4 minus 2. Okay, well, what is 3 minus 1? 2. 4 minus 2? 2. I'll help you in a minute. Okay, you guys got